If you're watching this right now, maybe you've felt it too. Not all at once, not loud, but slowly, quietly, like something shifting. You sit down with the morning paper, and the letters just don't seem to pop like they used to. You go out for a walk after dinner. The streetlights feel a bit too bright, a little too sharp. That favorite book you've read a dozen times? The edges of the words start to melt into each other. And when you wake up, there's that scratchy, dry feeling, as if your eyes had been quietly calling for help while you slept. Have you ever felt that? You're not alone. And no, you're not imagining it. One of my patients, a retired school teacher named Mary, once told me, "It's like my eyes have aged faster than the rest of me." And you know what? That actually makes sense. Because our eyes don't age in dramatic ways. They don't cry out when they're tired. They just fade, quietly, silently. Here's something most people don't realize. A lot of the damage to our eyes, it doesn't happen when we're staring at screens or out in the sun. It happens while we sleep. I know, it sounds strange. But think about it. For 7 to 8 hours every night, your eyes are closed. Your tear glands are resting. But that doesn't mean they're safe. I like to tell my patients, it's kind of like your house at night. The lights are off, everything seems fine. But if there's a leak in the pipes, you won't know until morning. And by then, the damage has already begun. But here's the hopeful part. Because this story, it's not just about loss. It's about what's still possible. Even at 60, even at 70, even at 80. Your eyes, just like the rest of your body, still hold the power to heal when given the right kind of care. And sometimes, that care doesn't come from a pill bottle or a surgeon's table. Sometimes, it comes from something as simple and as beautiful as a spoonful of oil before bed. I'm talking about nourishing, natural oils. Oils that help support the delicate tear film that keeps your eyes comfortable, that ease inflammation, that bring back that gentle clarity you miss in the morning. It's not a miracle. It's science. And it's something your eyes have been quietly waiting for. Tonight, I want to invite you into something gentle, something simple, but quietly powerful. You don't have to go far for it. In fact, it might already be sitting there, in your kitchen cupboard, tucked behind the olive oil beside the tea, waiting to be seen. I'm talking about natural oils, 6 of them to be exact. But tonight, just tonight, I want to begin with one. Because if this is your first time hearing about using oils for eye health, this is where I'd ask you to start. Flaxseed oil. Let me tell you why. I want you to picture something for a moment. Close your eyes, not just literally, but gently in your mind. And imagine a soft glow, not a flame, just a low fire, humming beneath the surface of your skin. You don't feel pain, but it's there, under the eyelids, around the glands, quietly burning away moisture. That is inflammation. It's one of the most silent, stubborn companions of aging, and it's a major reason why dry eyes creep into our mornings. Slow, steady, uninvited. But flaxseed oil, it's like rain on that fire. A cooling balm that doesn't shout, doesn't sting. It just shows up every night to help your body do what it already knows how to do. Heal. See, flaxseed oil is rich in something called ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that the body gently converts into anti-inflammatory support. Not just for your joints or your heart, but for your eyes, your tear glands, your corneas, your inner surface that's working quietly while you sleep. I'll tell you a story I carry with me. His name is Ronald, 70 years old, kind eyes, spent most of his life outdoors, working with his hands. 3 weeks into adding flaxseed oil to his nightly routine, he came into my office, sat down, and said, "Doc, I didn't even think about my eyes this morning. They didn't burn. For the first time in years." I just woke up, and it was normal. And I remember thinking, isn't normal such a beautiful word? We spend so much of life chasing comfort, relief, clarity. But sometimes, what we really miss is just normal. The absence of pain. The ability to open your eyes and step into the day without reaching for drops or blinking away the sting. If that sounds like something you've longed for, I want you to know it's possible. Here's what I usually tell my patients. Start small. 1 tablespoon after dinner. Cold-pressed flaxseed oil, the good kind. Keep it in the fridge to protect those delicate fatty acids. And if the taste doesn't sit right with you, capsules are perfectly fine. The body will still know what to do. But don't expect fireworks. This isn't instant. It's a ritual, a quiet one, like watering a dry plant. You don't see change on day 1, but give it a week, 2 weeks. And suddenly, the leaves are green again. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you opened your eyes in the morning and didn't feel them? No burn? No dryness? Just the light coming in gently, the way it used to? Not a miracle, just ease. That's the kind of healing I believe in. Not flashy, not fast, but deep. And it starts with something as simple as this. 1 spoonful each night as a gift to yourself. In the next part of this series, I'll share another oil, one that comes from the sea. It's helped thousands reduce eye fatigue, sleep better, and find clarity again. But tonight, we begin with flaxseed oil. Gentle, natural, and maybe, just maybe, exactly what your eyes have been waiting for. Tonight, I want to introduce you to 2 more allies. Gentle ones, familiar ones that might already be sitting quietly in your home, just waiting to be seen in a new light. Let's start with something that may surprise you. Coconut oil. I know, we usually think of it for cooking, or maybe as something to soften the skin, tame the hair. But what if I told you it could also be a soft friend to your eyes? It doesn't sound like the kind of thing that would help with vision, right? We don't often imagine that what we eat before bed could play a role in how our eyes feel the next morning. But coconut oil isn't just food. It's what I like to call a soft helper. No big promises, no flashy headlines, just a quiet presence, full of nourishment. It's rich in MCTs, medium-chain triglycerides, and lauric acid. These little compounds support something most people don't even realize they have: a tear film. That invisible thin layer over your eyes. It keeps your vision clear, your blinks comfortable, and your gaze at ease. But as we age, that tear film gets thinner, and when it does, the world starts to feel scratchier, dimmer, drier. That's where coconut oil steps in, like a drink of water for a thirsty garden. Soft, natural, safe. I remember reading about how people in tropical regions have used coconut oil for centuries, not just to eat, but to heal. They'd warm it gently and apply it around the eyes to soothe the skin from dryness and heat. We might not do that today, but the principle is the same. Let your body receive nourishment from the inside. So how do you use it? Simple. A teaspoon, maybe a tablespoon, before bed. You can stir it into tea, drizzle it on dinner, or just take it by spoon. No prescriptions, no procedures, just a ritual, a gesture of care. Some of my older patients who've struggled for years with that gritty, sand-in-the-eyes feeling in the morning, they started adding coconut oil into their evening routine, and in just a week or 2, they noticed something small. Not dramatic, but meaningful. Their mornings felt softer, less burning, less blinking, less reaching for eye drops the moment they woke up. It's like their eyes finally got the drink they'd been waiting for. And if you already enjoy the warm, comforting taste of coconut oil, then this isn't just good for your eyes. It's a small act of joy, too. But before we close tonight, I want to share one more oil with you. This one has a different kind of strength. Avocado oil. It's not about hydration this time. It's about protection. And to understand why, I want you to think about something most people never consider. Your macula. Tiny, hidden, and incredibly powerful. The macula is the part of your eye that lets you read the fine print, recognize a loved one's face, notice the details in a painting or a handmade quilt. But the macula is fragile. As we age, it becomes more vulnerable, especially to blue light, oxidative stress, and nutritional depletion. And this is where avocado oil shines. With its deep green color, it's rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, natural pigments that your macula stores like armor. Think of them as tiny sunglasses built into your eyes. They help filter out harmful light. They protect your vision at its core. And over time, they help preserve what matters most: clarity. I think of Maria, a retired school teacher, 68. She came to me frustrated, not in pain, but discouraged. "It's like the words are there," she said, "but they're swimming." Nighttime reading had become a struggle, so we tried something small: 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed avocado oil with her dinner. Nothing else. A month later, she came back smiling. "I'm reading again," she said. "Not like when I was 30, but I can finish my chapters. And the letters, they've stopped swimming." That's not a miracle. That's nutrition, working quietly, from within. If you want to try avocado oil, here's what to look for: cold-pressed, unrefined, rich green color. That green means lutein is present. Store it in a cool, dark place. Take just 1 teaspoon a day, and let your body do the rest. You may not notice a change tomorrow, but your macula, it remembers when it's being cared for. We often think of vision as something that inevitably fades, but I believe, deeply, that with gentle, consistent care, we can not only slow that loss, but reclaim moments we thought were gone. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, ask yourself, what small kindness can I offer my eyes? It doesn't always have to be drops or glasses. Sometimes it's just a spoonful of something good, a quiet ritual, a soft commitment. And tomorrow, I'll tell you about an oil that's been used since ancient times, in healing, in ceremony, in restoration. But for now, coconut oil, for hydration, avocado oil, for protection. 2 gentle allies, working while you sleep. Sometimes the answers we're looking for aren't new. They're old, older than us, older than modern medicine, passed down not in textbooks, but through hands, through kitchens, through quiet rituals whispered from one generation to the next. And when I think of healing in that way, I think of black seed oil. Maybe you've heard of it by another name, Nigella sativa, or maybe you've heard the names it's been given over centuries. The seed of blessing. A cure for everything but death. Even liquid gold now. I don't say these things lightly. I'm not one for grand claims. But when something has been used for over 2,000 years, from the Middle East to India, from North Africa to old European apothecaries, you have to wonder, what did they know that we forgot? Today, science is slowly catching up. Researchers have found that black seed oil contains a powerful compound called thymoquinone. It's a funny-sounding word, but what it does is truly beautiful. It shields, it calms, it protects delicate tissues, including the tissues in your eyes, from oxidative stress. And oxidative stress? It's the rust of time, the quiet decay that creeps into our vision, slowly clouding clarity. But black seed oil doesn't just protect, it supports. It helps your body regulate tear production. It softens the inflammation that quietly builds in aging eyes. And in early studies, it's even shown promise in reducing the risk of cataracts when used consistently. Let me tell you about Sandra. She's 65, came to me for joint pain. But in the middle of our conversation, she said something almost as an afterthought. "My eyes feel tired before I even start my day." They were red, irritated, puffy by morning. She didn't know why, just that she woke up feeling older than she really was. I suggested something simple. Half a teaspoon of black seed oil before bed. No eye drops, no creams, just a spoonful of ancient wisdom. 3 weeks later, she emailed me. My eyes don't fight me in the mornings anymore. And that's it, really. That's the kind of healing I love most. Not loud, not flashy, just present. If you're curious to try it, start small. Half to 1 teaspoon before bed. If the taste feels strong, and yes, it has an earthy kick, there are capsule options too. Just make sure it's cold-pressed, high quality, and from a trusted source. It doesn't take much, but it's been waiting for centuries, for someone to remember. And if black seed oil speaks to that ancient part of healing, then the next oil, well, it's like an old friend from the Mediterranean. Familiar, trustworthy, quietly powerful. Olive oil. Yes, the same oil you might drizzle on salad or warm bread. But it's so much more than food. It's medicine. It always has been. For aging eyes, olive oil holds something special. It strengthens the tear film, that fragile barrier that keeps your eyes hydrated and your vision clear. It soothes cellular inflammation, the slow-burning cause of that gritty, tired feeling so many of us wake up with. But the real treasure of olive oil? Hydroxytyrosol, one of the most potent natural antioxidants we've ever found. It protects the retina, that delicate layer at the back of your eye, from oxidative damage, especially damage caused by aging and constant exposure to light. Let me tell you about Charles. He's 72, a retired architect, sharp mind, detail-oriented, but his mornings had become difficult. It's like someone poured salt in my eyes overnight, he joked. Drops helped a little, but nothing brought real relief. So we went back to basics. I asked him to try 1 tablespoon of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil before bed. Not heated, not cooked, just taken straight, like medicine. 2 weeks later, he came back, eyes brighter, voice lighter. I don't dread mornings anymore. Now. Maybe you already use olive oil in your cooking. But remember, not all olive oil is created equal. You want one that's cold-pressed, organic, extra virgin. The kind that's green gold in color, rich in aroma, stored away from heat and light. And don't cook with it if you're using it for your eyes. Heat destroys the healing compounds. Just 1 tablespoon. Each night. Let it coat your system. Let it work quietly as you sleep. You see, these oils, flaxseed, coconut, avocado, black seed, olive, they're not trendy. They're not new. They're ancient companions. Not loud cures, but quiet medicine. The kind that sits in your pantry. The kind that's passed through hands, across generations, waiting for us to remember. I like to think of them as evening prayers for your health. Not in words, but in intention. A spoon, a pause, a whisper of care before bed. And tomorrow, I'll share the final oil in this series, one I call the guardian oil, a protector, a restorer, a nutrient so closely tied to regeneration that I see it as a shield for your eyes, especially the most fragile parts. But for now, let this be enough. Black seed oil for protection and balance. Olive oil for restoration and strength. And now, here we are. The final oil I want to share with you. The one that may already be sitting quietly on your shelf, unopened, unused, waiting. Fish oil. You've probably heard about it before. Maybe in a magazine article, maybe from your doctor. Most people know it's good for the heart, but what they don't always hear is that fish oil is also essential for the eyes. Not just nice to have, essential. You see, inside your eyes, deep in the back, in the retina, there lives a fat, a very specific fat, DHA. It's a type of omega-3, and your retina holds more DHA than almost any other part of your body. Why? Because your photoreceptor cells, the cells that let you see light, contrast, and detail, are literally built from DHA. It's the oil in the engine, the glue between the gears. Without it, things don't stop working all at once. But they slow down, they weaken, and eventually, they fade. Not because of age itself, but because of what age quietly takes away. And here's the thing. Your body can't make DHA. You have to get it from what you feed it. That's why fish oil is not just a supplement. It's a shield, a quiet form of protection for the part of your vision you cannot afford to lose. I often tell my patients, think of DHA like the oil inside a clock. Without it, the gears still turn, but they grind, they wear down, they lose their rhythm. But when you nourish the system, the movement returns, the vision stays. Let me tell you about Tom. He's 74, strong spirit. Came to me a few months ago, not because he was losing vision, but because his older brother was. Macular degeneration had taken away the center of his brother's sight, and that scared Tom. So we sat down. We looked at his lifestyle, his diet, and then we talked about fish oil. I recommended a high-quality supplement, one that had at least 500 milligrams of DHA and 250 milligrams of EPA, both critical for eye health. And I told him something important. Take it after dinner, not in the morning. Why? Because omega-3s are fat-soluble. They need a little fat from your meal to be absorbed properly. And if you're going to care for your vision, it's worth doing it right. Not just any fish oil either. I told Tom to look for oil made from small, cold-water fish, like sardines or anchovies. They carry fewer toxins, and their oils are purer, richer, and more reliable. Tom took it seriously. Every night. After dinner. 1 capsule. 3 months later, he came back in for his check-in. His vision hadn't dramatically changed. We weren't expecting that. But he said something that stayed with me ever since. I don't notice my eyes as much anymore. And maybe that's the point. Let that sink in. When something's working, when it's healthy, supported, nourished, we don't notice it. No pain, no dryness, no sting, just ease. And sometimes, ease is the greatest sign of healing. So if you're someone who wants to protect your retina, preserve your central vision, give your eyes what time tries to take away, let fish oil be part of that journey. 1 capsule, each night, after dinner. Let it go to work, silently, faithfully, while you sleep. These 6 oils, flaxseed, coconut, avocado, black seed, olive, and fish oil, they aren't fads. They're not quick fixes. They're quiet medicine. The kind passed down through kitchens, not clinics. The kind that doesn't shout, but it shows up, night after night. I think of them as something sacred. Evening prayers in liquid form, each spoonful a whisper of care. And so, as we close this series, I want to leave you with a question. What if healing doesn't have to be hard? What if it starts with something simple? A moment of intention, a spoon, a capsule, a quiet gift to your eyes before bed. Not everything worth doing needs to be big. Sometimes, the best things come gently. So tonight, I hope you'll look at that bottle on your shelf a little differently. Not as a supplement, but as support. Not as a chore, but as care. Not as a trend, but as a tradition. Thank you for walking this path with me. Your eyes and the life you see through them are worth every quiet step. Until next time, be well, sleep deeply, and let the healing begin.